This is just incredible. It is really a remarkable experience to come up the dragon's back and then to think of descending that chute and that Homo naledi likely did that to enter that chamber again and again. It is just, it's mind blowing.
Could you just tell us who you are and kind of what you do at UW?
Sure. I'm John Hawks. I'm a professor of anthropology at UW. I'm a paleoanthropologist. I work in Africa and I find fossil evidence of human origins. Our work in Africa is in the Cradle of Humankind World Heritage Site. It's right outside of Johannesburg, South Africa. We work in several caves. One of the most well-known of them is called the Rising Star Cave System. It's a place where we dig fossil bones of our ancient human relatives. There are many kinds of human relatives in this area, many of them extinct today. Some of them lived as early as 2 million or 3 million years ago. The ones that we're working on most recently are about 250,000 years old. We have found fossil bones in many parts of the cave system. One of the parts that has a very rich array of fossil bones is called the Dinaledi Chamber. It is about 30 meters under the ground, and for our team to get to there is about 120 meters through the cave system. It involves a very tall climb up this rock structure called the Dragon's Back, and then a sheer descent down a really narrow passage. We hadn't ever explored what happens right before that, at the base of that climb, the Dragon's Back Chamber. And so this summer we were exploring, we found some evidence of fossil hominins in the ceiling of the cave. And where we were digging, we found some evidence of hominin behavior as well. We're analyzing that now, and we'll know more about it once we are through with our studies.
Do they live in these caves, or was it that the fossils worked their way down to that?
It's a combination of factors. In some cave systems, the fossils are coming in from outside the cave because predators are eating animals and their bones sometimes go into the cave. In other cave systems, the hominins themselves are using parts of the cave because it's cool or because they're sheltering there. There are caves where we find abundant evidence of them living in the cave, eating animals, cooking animals. In Rising Star, the places where we have worked most are places where it appears that they were depositing bodies in the cave. So our hypothesis about this is that they were transporting bodies there. This was the place where they took bodies.
As like a means of burial? Or?
Exactly. You know, some kind of social ritual, something that they're coming back to this cave again and again. Our direct evidence of burial goes back to more than 100,000 years ago. And our cave would be the earliest clear evidence of it. You know, if we uncovered burials there and we're like, yeah, they were burying bodies, that would be the oldest that we've ever found. And so as we study how their bones came to be in the cave, we're thinking, does this tell us something about the behavior of this extinct creature, you know, which is very different from us in some ways? Is this something that they have in common with us? And that's really what draws us forward to try to understand the overall pattern of their behavior.
Is that a location that you guys are able to find or were able to find kind of full specimen, or was it more?
The nearby chamber, the Dinaledi Chamber, where our first discoveries were made, in 2013 actually, was when our first discoveries in the cave were made. That chamber has more than 2,000 bone elements, fragments of bone, in some cases complete bones. And we have bones from at least 25 individuals from that part of the cave. That's a major discovery. It's super complete. We are not looking at, for the most part, skeletons. You know, we're looking at the pieces of more than 24 bodies that are sort of gathered together in various ways. We're still working to understand what's going on in Dragon's Back. And those two kinds of discovery are both part of our field. What I'm looking forward to is finding more of these sites where the evidence is there. And I know right from my experience that there are going to be many.